Understand from statements that I read from Speaker Alvarez that the executive order is expected to be signed in October, and that we can constitute ourselves into an assembly in November. So that we really have a lot of work to do. So I hope that we have less discussions on the resolution and more discussions during the assembly itself. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. There's an incident here. Adjourn now, Mr. Chairman. It's a privilege motion, Mr. Chairman. I move to adjourn.
I don't need his story. I will file actually sa Ethics Committee for conduct unbecoming. That is a behavior that should not be tolerated by the House leadership. Where it came from, he uttered unparliamentary words.
He should apologize to you?
Not to me, to the institution. Not just to me, to the institution, because, you know, this is an institution where everybody should act as a statesman.
Sir,
hindi ito palengke.
sir, do you think you should also apologize to him?
Why should I apologize?
Weren't you the first one who said the bad word?
No, I did not say any bad word. I don't say bad words, you know. I was only expressing my opinion as far as the issue is concerned. To top it all, he went around. He was actually on the opposite side. He went around and then again uttered unparliamentary words. But,
Sir,
you know, I can forgive people like those.
sir, hindi raw siya magsusorry sa'yo, but he admitted mali yung ginawa
I
niya.
don't need his story. I will file actually sa Ethics Committee for conduct unbecoming. That is a behavior that should not be tolerated by the House leadership.
By Constituent Assembly, by calling on Congress to constitute the itself as a Constituent Assembly.
Mr. Chairman,
Do we the normal
Mr. Chairman, yes, we will look for what mode to change the constitution. But Mr. Chairman, let us not forget that there are two resolutions here favoring Constituent Assembly, but with a rider. One will create a Council of Elders, and the other a group of experts. If we will vote now, only on the mode. So yun po ang mapapalagay sa ating committee report. Mawawala na ngayon yung rider dun sa resolution namin ni Kong Albi at sa resolution ni Kong Gonzales.
Mr. Chair, the procedure states that we have to ask for the approval of the proponent of the motion to your amendment. That is an amendment already. So we will request the proponent, the Honorable Garcia, if what is his discretion on the proposal of Honorable Ako.
Mr. Chair, before
Please, for purposes of orderly discussion, let's give the floor to Honorable Garcia.
Defer to Congressman Piche.
just to clarify, we are not convening. We are just voting on the vote. Right? So the convening to a constituent assembly is not yet being tackled.
No. And so, Mr. Chair, respectfully submit that let us simplify things here. Let us first vote on the mode. Pagkatapos niyan, no matter which way my motion should go, but should this motion pass, then we shall continue to discuss whether or not a Council of Elders should be convened, whether we should include a panel of experts, but let us simplify matters. Shall we propose to the plenary a Constituent Assembly? But this is an affirmative motion. I am moving that the committee shall propose that in the manner of amending the Constitution, Congress shall convene itself as a constituent assembly. It's as simple as that, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I just be
So
allowed?
please reiterate your motion for the purpose of the members of this
Mr.
honorable
Chair,
body.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, excuse me, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, before the motion, please, may I just be allowed to speak even point of order, Mr. Chair?
No,
Please.
no. Order.
I'm just requesting for 1 minute for me to be able to reply to the Honorable Veloso with respect to his explanation a while ago in response to my statement prior to this particular votation. Because I have deep respect for the Honorable Justice and Congressman Veloso, who I know is also a professor of law, same as I. But this is precisely my point, Your Honor. According to the
With due
Justice
respect to
Order.
Honorable Salo, we are now in the period of considering the motion. We cannot
Just
anymore.
one sentence lang.
I'm
One
very
sen-
sorry,
Just one
but
sentence.
we have to give the floor to the Honorable Garcia
Mr.
for
Speaker,
purposes of clarification.
Mr. Chairman, why don't we allow a member to just finish his sentence? Why are you cutting short his sentence? Please allow him to finish his sentence.
We are wrong here by the rules.
Yes,
But,
Mr. Chairman,
that's what I said. With due respect,
You can
we
finish
can
your sentence.
recognize Honorable Salo after recognizing the Honorable Garcia. Please, Honorable Garcia.
I am repeating my motion, Mr. Chair, and the motion is that this committee shall propose that in the manner of amending the Constitution, Congress shall convene itself as a constituent assembly. It's my motion, Mr. Chair, and I believe it was duly seconded.
Objection, Your Honor.
It has been moved and seconded. There is
But
an
we have
objection.
objected.
There is an
Chairman,
objection.
We have objected, Your
There's an
Honor.
objection.
Yes, there is an objection. So we will now vote.
May I be allowed to explain my objection, Mr. Chair?
The committee.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair, before we vote, I think we have to be heard on what our basis of objection is.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I think
Harry Roque.
there is a prejudicial question here. We cannot simply vote whether or not the mode will be Constituent Assembly or Constitutional Convention without being clear if the Constitution contemplates that Congress should vote jointly or separately. The reason obviously is, unless this issue is resolved, taxpayers' money will be wasted if we continue discussing the mode of amendment without certainty if the mode selected should be done jointly or separately by Congress. I will not debate the point raised by the good gentleman from Leyte, but my point is, because of these prejudicial questions, let us hear experts on this particular issue. Because after all, I'm only after avoiding wasting taxpayers' time and effort and money as well, no? In case our construction of the Constitution is wrong.
Okay, we will now
Mr.
hear
Chair, another objection.
the comment of the Honorable Ron P. Salo.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That's precisely my point, Your Honor. And the point that was raised by the Honorable Congressman Veloso only epitomizes my point. That we ourselves, as lawyers ourselves, and as professors of law, certainly disagree whether it should be voting separately or voting jointly. So each lawyer or each person on the street would have his own idea. That's the reason why, my point is, exactly, there is so much uncertainty with Constituent Assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, any more?
another
Yes,
objection.
the Honorable Gonzaga, please.
Mr. Chair, the motion of Honorable Garcia is this Congress to act whether or not to sit as a constituent assembly. Remember, Congress, Mr. Chair, consists of two houses, the lower house and the upper house. In fact, the motion is inappropriate. How can we decide whether we sit as a constituent assembly or a constitutional convention, when in fact we are only part of the Congress. So the motion is wrong, with due respect. Mr. President, I should suggest, just like what happened to our bill regarding the postponement of barangay elections, it runs smoothly because there is a coordination between this House and the upper house. I would rather suggest, Mr. Chair, that the process that is taken in the passing of the bill regarding the postponement of the barangay elections should be pursued in this case. Why should not we create a body, a technical working group, or members of this committee to coordinate with the upper house, whether or not they agree with Constituent Assembly or the Constitutional Convention?
Mr.
Point
Chair.
of order. Okay,
Point of order.
The chair would like to request all the members to be focused on this and to listen to the discussion, because this is a very important discussion. We'll now hear Vice Chairman Piloso.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
What's your point of order?
The point of order, Mr. Chair, is that there seems to be an allegation that the standing motion is allegedly out of order. I think it's very clear that the issue is definitely a point of order. I would like to clarify just these things. We will be voting, but we're not acting or in fact assuming to be, with all due respect, to be the House of Congress. There were separate resolutions or bills filed, and definitely these were submitted before this committee. And what will be the committee will just be doing is to submit the recommendation. For after all, the decision, if ever a mode of proposal to amend the Constitution will be by Constituent Assembly or by CONCON, it will still be up to the plenary as the House of Congress, which will decide whether we will pursue with the definite mode of changing the Constitution.
Mr. Chairman.
I'll now proceed with...
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Before we vote, could I move for an amendment? Before we vote,
Amendment of the motion.
amendment to the motion. Mr. Chairman, my amendment is, I do not know how to construct this, but let the Secretariat, from all the measures filed, consolidate it na ang magkakam up yung resolution, ay yung motion ni Deputy Speaker Garcia, because that's the procedure na for every measures kailangan meron tayong substitute resolution. For all resolutions filed, there should be a substitute resolution.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Piloso is recognized.
Just two things, Mr. Chair. I will read Article 17, Amendments, Revisions. Section 1, any amendment to, or revision of, this Constitution may be proposed by 1. The Congress upon a vote of 3/4 of all its members. It does not say upon clearance by the Supreme Court. It does not say upon clearance by source people. It does not say upon clearance by the population. The people will be the ultimate deciders of our proposal via referendum. I am only 3 months old here, Mr. Chairman. And my understanding is we should always put the horse ahead of the cart. We will never put the cart ahead of the horse. We will be wasting our time discussing a constitutional convention if at the end of the day the committee will decide on Constituent Assembly. We will not be talking about council of 10 experts if we will be voting for a constitutional convention. So the motion, Mr. Chairman, of Representative Garcia is to me in order. If at all we do not agree on the motion of Representative Garcia, may we please put that into vote now.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, the Honorable Benitez is recognized.
Basically, Mr. Chairman, we are just going with the motion. We are not approving any bill yet. We are just approving, or we're just agreeing to the motion that's being filed. And that's it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
If I may address the concern of
The Honorable
if I may address the concern of Congressman Benitez and Congressman Abu, because whatever is decided here, if it will be put to a vote. First of all, I agree with the Congressman Leachon that at the end of the day, it will be the plenary that will decide on what mode we'll take. But here, if ever it is decided to take a particular route, for example, Constituent Assembly or CONCON, all the measures that are proposed or that were referred to this committee, all of them will still be taken up. They will still be taken up, and all the details, different iterations of different versions will still be tackled. So hindi mababaliwala yung version ni Congressman Benitez, version ni Congressman Abu. Kung yun ang mapipili, kung yung mode na yun. Hindi pa natin alam kung anong mode.
Then we, Mr. Chairman, we are suggesting an amendment to the motion so that to satisfy the question being raised now. When we decide on which mode, we also immediately fine-tune all the different suggestions contained in this before we even submit it to the plenary, because it would look silly going before the plenary with a suggestion that is half-cooked.
Mr. Chair.
Provided that we include that amendment, then I think we can go into a vote. But without that qualification, going to a vote of whether Constituent Assembly or may be premature. That's what I would want to avoid
Mr.
at this
Chair,
point.
Mr. Chair, we'd like to make
Okay,
the amendment,
Honorable
please.
Lechon.
Okay, amendment is suggested that the motion to submit to this committee the mode of changing the constitution, and afterwards to create its technical working group as to study the different versions of the measures filed so as to incorporate it in the proposal chosen by this committee. So move, Mr. Chairman.
I second it. Parliamentary status, Mr. Chairman, parliamentary status.
We are now in the period of hearing the proposal and voting. So
Mr.
we'll now
Chair.
recognize for the last time the Honorable Gwendolyn F. Garcia.
Clarificatory question, Mr. Chairman. Are we approving, did we approve the motion as
Not yet.
seconded?
Mr. Chair, there is still a pending
There was a motion to vote, there was no vote.
by
That's why-
this representation, Chair, and perhaps I should be asked whether I approve of the amendment, Mr. Chair. And so perhaps if I may be heard, Mr. Chair, after all, I'm the birthday girl.
Okay, birthday girl.
Mr. Chair, for stylistic purposes and for brevity, may I restate my motion incorporating the wishes of my colleagues and taking into consideration the different resolutions and House bills that have been filed. I would like to restate my motion, and this is as it goes. I move to adopt a substitute resolution calling for the convening of a Constituent Assembly to propose amendments to the Constitution. Now, a substitute resolution already takes into account the prior discussion, sifting through all of the other modes or all of the other riders and proposals and recommendations that are contained in the resolutions or House bills calling for a Constituent Assembly. it already takes into consideration the possible convening of a technical working group that would, after having refined and arrived at a final resolution, this shall be submitted as a substitute resolution. But in the end, would still call for the calling of a constituent assembly.
Yes,
After this, TWG is done with its work, you are saying, and that will be submitted once again to the committee before we go to the plenary. Is that clear?
Yes, definitely.
Tama po ba? I did not hear the lady answer.
This is the essence of the motion, my esteemed colleague, that a substitute resolution shall be crafted by the technical working group. But still proposing for the convening of a constituent assembly.
We have said that to be submitted to the committee before going to the plenary.
Mr. Chair, I believe if I am correct, what the proponent, Norman Garcia, wants to convey is that she is moving to call for a constituent assembly subject to style.
Exactly, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, remarks to the motion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Remulla.
In relation to the proposal to create a technical working group, can we please specify to include the authors of all House resolutions and bills as members of the technical working group that will finalize the deal, which you had said subject to the style, Mr. Chair?
Yes. We will take in. Thank you very much.
Suggestion, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
We all agree here that there is a need for an amendment and or revision of the Constitution. But to put a word there, constituting this House into a constituent assembly, there is a danger there. Why? If that motion will be
with due
approved.
respect to the honorable member, we are only for the mode.
Yeah.
Only for the mode
Yes,
with
Mr.
this
Chair.
constituent.
If we go into a mode of constituent assembly now, as proposed by the Honorable Deputy Speaker from Cebu, what if, I will give you a scenario, what if this will be denied by the plenary? Then we go back again to zero. So what if my suggestion, Mr. Chair, this is my suggestion. My suggestion is, we submit a resolution for amendment and or revision of the Constitution as according to as provided for under the Constitution, and it should be the plenary who will decide. Kasi if we will decide now, committee will decide.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. There's a pending motion, and we should now.
That is only a suggestion, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, we'll take
Mr.
it.
Chairman.
So,
Mr. Chairman, Article 17, amendments or revision, nakalagay dito, any amendments or revision of the Constitution may be proposed by the Congress upon vote of 3/4 of all its members. There is no mention of Constituent Assembly. Walang nakalagay dito sa legal batas na Constituent Assembly. So since this is a copy and paste of the previous Constitution, which was unicameral, I think what we do is pass a resolution wherein we are going to invite the upper chamber, because it mentions Congress, it doesn't say House of Representatives. So the resolution should be amended, and it should be a resolution inviting the upper chamber to join us as far as direct amendment of the Constitution is concerned.
Mr. Chairman, there's a pending motion, and then we should discharge.
I still have the floor. I was recognized.
okay, with due respect to...
I still have the floor.
Okay, proceed. Honorable PICHAY.
So the Constitution states that Congress, upon vote of 3/4 of all its members,
That is Constituent Assembly.
I still have the floor. Saan nakalagay ang Constituent Assembly dyan?
May I be allowed to
No, you're not allowed. No, what I'm saying here, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, we should instead come up with a resolution.
This is a point of order. It has the
We come up with a resolution that
Mr. Chairman, let us stop entertaining senseless motions.
it is not a motion.
Those are stupid.
No.
Pardon my French, Mr.
This is not a motion.
Let us not pretend to be constitutionalist here. In order to abbreviate,
They are not pretending to be constitutionalist here.
1 minute. Why don't we just
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. There's an incident here. Adjourn now, Mr. Chairman. It's a privilege motion, Mr. Chairman. I move to adjourn.
Shit, may laban tayo sa mukha.
Mr. Chairman, it's 4 o'clock. It's plenary. I move to adjourn.
Suspended.
Mr. Chairman, it's 8 minutes to plenary. I move to adjourn. Mr. Chairman, let's not push the issue.
Moses, you have said.
Polling of the roll.
Mr. Chairman, but I think we cannot be oblivious to what has happened in this room.
Let us be guided by the procedure here.
Motion to adjourn is a privilege motion, Mr. Chairman.
We will now proceed with the
Objection, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adjourn is a privilege motion, Your Honor.
Behavior of some of our members. We reiterate our motion earlier. Postpone final decision on this issue and look for another meeting where we will have cooler heads.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, 1 minute suspension.
Akala ko
Meeting will now continue. The chair would like to request for roll call.
Mr. Chair,
Members of the committee for
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Chair.
Roll call of members of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, Abayon, Ako, Magao, Benitez, Ortiz, Bonilla, Castro, Dalipe, Fortun, Rebella, Go, Gonzaga, Nagson, Loyola, Maceda, Mercado, Lagrades, Nunez Malanaon, Ong, Pimentel, Remisias Agabas, Salo, Sarmiento, Swansea, Tamontin, Umali, Oibareta, Velarde, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Zamora. Mr. Chair, there are 17 regular members in attendance, and also the ex-officio members present are Deputy Speaker Singson, Deputy Speaker Apo, Deputy Speaker Garcia, Deputy Speaker Curry, Deputy Speaker Pagalaroyo, Deputy Majority Leader Hofer, Deputy Majority Leader Gonzales Jr., Senior Deputy Minority Leader Atienza, Minority Leader Rivera, and Deputy Minority Leader Roque. There are 10 ex-officio present, so there are 27 voting members, all in all.
Thank you very much. Due to lack of material time, this hearing is hereby adjourned.
First base anti-salsa. Win kami.
Sir, can you explain lang?
Sige, go.
Sir, again, here, on Facebook Live, what happened here exactly?
Well, I think what happened is we were able to frustrate railroading of charter change. Ang gusto nila mag-agree na kagad on the most. Sinasabi namin, hindi pa nga sigurado kung voting separately or jointly with the Senate. If it's jointly, either way, you need to hear what the Senate has to say. No? So bakit po i-railroad ngayon? Okay? Okay.
Sir, and why are you sinasabi mo?
Okay.
Ay, wait lang.
Well, I think...
Matt. Eh, si Sir, game na. Okay, game, sir. What happened?
Well, I think what happened is
we frustrated, okay, railroading charter change. They wanted kasi to agree already on the mode of amending the charter, which I think is premature. Why? Because there's a prejudicial issue. Itong mode, either way, will have to be agreed upon with the Senate. No? And we do not know if the voting is jointly or separate. No? That is why, sabi ko, mag-prejudicial issue muna tayo, inisolve natin yung prejudicial issue kung joint or separate voting. No? Kasi, ba't ka mag-a-agree na masasayang lang ang oras mo kung kinakailangan pala separate voting with the Senate? No? So I consider this as a victory for those who don't really want charter change at this point. No? But it was very clear. They intended to railroad the process, but I think the democratic processes prevailed and they did not succeed.
What is the end game by railroading?
Alam mo, hindi ako malinaw nga kung bakit talagang gusto nilang i-railroad ang charter change. No? Hanggang ngayon, ang publiko hindi naman sinusuportahan niya. Hati ng ating taong bayan tutol sa charter change. So, hindi ko talaga maintindihan kung ano yung urgency. Samantalang, ang dami namang mga panukalang batas na dapat bigyan ng atensyon. No? Yung Universal Healthcare Bill, no? Yung mga batas para matapos na ang kagutungan sa ating bayan. No? So, ang tanong ko, bakit nga ba tayo nagmamadali na sa punto na talagang nagre-railroad na sila at parang ginagamit na nila yung sheer numbers, no, para isulong itong charter change?
Okay.
By the House leadership.
By Constituent Assembly, by calling on Congress to constitute the itself as a Constituent Assembly.
Mr. Chairman,
Do we pay the normal
Mr. Chairman, yes, we will vote for what mode to change the Constitution. But Mr. Chairman, let us not forget that there are two resolutions here favoring Constituent Assembly, but with a rider. One will create a Council of Elders, and the other a group of experts. If we will vote now, only on the mode. So yun po ang mapapalagay sa ating committee report. Mawawala na ngayon yung rider dun sa resolution namin ni Kong Albi at sa resolution ni Dong Gonzales.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair, procedure states that we have to ask for the approval of the proponent of the motion to your amendment.
To apologize to him.
Why should I apologize?
Weren't you the first one who said the bad word?
No, I did not say any bad word. I don't say bad words, you know. I was only expressing my opinion as far as the issue is concerned. To top it all, he went around. He was actually on the opposite side. Went around and then again uttered unparliamentary words. But,
Sir,
you know, I can forgive people like those. You know.
Sir, hindi raw siya magsasorry sa'yo, but he admitted mali yung ginawa
I
niya.
don't need his story. I will file actually sa Ethics Committee for conduct unbecoming. That is a behavior that should not be tolerated.
I understand from statements that I read from Speaker Alvarez that the executive order is expected to be signed in October, and that we can constitute ourselves into an assembly in November. So that we really have a lot of work to do. So I hope that we have less discussions on the resolution and more discussions during the assembly itself. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. There's an incident here. Adjourn now, Mr. Chairman. It's a privilege motion, Mr. Chairman. I move to adjourn.
I don't need his story. I will file actually sa Ethics Committee for conduct unbecoming. That is a behavior that should not be tolerated by the House leadership. Where it came from, he uttered unparliamentary words.
He should apologize to you.
Not to me, to the institution, not just to me, to the institution, because, you know, this is an institution where everybody should act as a statesman.
Sir,
Hindi ito palengke.
sir, do you think you should also